What's up, guys? Welcome back to Store the Mic, the podcast for the New York Regans, based out of New York City, or Brooklyn, more or less Brooklyn. We're Brooklyn boys. And today we have a really special guest. She's the one that actually put Mike and myself in the same room where I kind of felt like, I think this is the guy I can work with. Andrea was squeezing a little bit of juice out of a dead lemon. And I was like, I think this is the guy. So because of Andrea, you know, I got Mike and I now, we have our own show. And this is the infamous, and I'm going to say it because she said I could, the infamous Andrea Giovino.
Yes. Thank you guys. What a great intro. Great, love you guys.
So Andrea, basically, I'll get down real quick to what we were speaking about earlier. Because of you, Mike and I started a podcast, right? You were the reason why we said, let's get this thing together. You also came up with some great ideas, being that your show originally was based on mobsters. So we took your lead. We did some shows. We had some people here from the streets. And then we looked at it, and it kind of wasn't what I felt was right for us, only because I know that the Puerto Rican community is based on silence, not based on talking about certain things, especially when it comes to crime. So it might work out for us in pieces and segments of things that we'll do in the future. So 3 of the shows that we interviewed are going to be cut into like small segments with other shows that we do. Where with you started it as a crime show, and you did really well. But also, how much can anyone take, or how many times could you bring back the same person? And stories got, they get not saturated. They get
You have
saturated.
to have a variety of different things that people like.
And now you're doing a variety.
Yeah, on my show I do that, a different variety. But I did find out, and the reason I pushed you guys to do your own show is that when I did have either of you on, the Puerto Rican community loved it. They loved hearing, the real stories from the street and from guys. And, the numbers don't lie.
Right.
Numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
So I think that, like I said all along, the Puerto Rican community needs to have you guys telling the stories. And, we know people that are in the streets aren't going to say it.
Right.
But you could say your own, through my experience. That's what
Well,
I do.
this is why I'm hoping going forward, we were talking about some projects.
Yes.
And that's where it could be exposed.
Right.
Because we can tell other people's stories that we know.
That's what I do. I go through
Right
my
through,
experience because I
exactly.
can't get them on the show.
Right. And that's what we're going to.
And what I've witnessed firsthand. And a lot of times you don't have to even mention that person, but you were there, you witnessed it, you've seen it, and you know the story for
Or
what
they're
it is.
willing to become as people that are on scene, speaking about it, but just giving them a different name.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I think that's
exactly.
where our success will prevail in making those either documentaries or short film or whatever,
Yes.
we spoke about.
So cutting through the small chase, what do you have going on right now? Anything you're putting together?
Yes, I do have. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking that.
course.
I always have something. My brain is always going the creative part of my brain. As
Yep.
the audience should know, I'm an author,
Right.
Divorced from the Mob. I'm a podcaster. I'm a TV personality. Most of my stuff is doing crime documentaries. Right now,
She's also a mother and
I'm
grandmother.
a grandmother, yeah. I'm busy with being a grandma.
Definitely,
also.
yeah.
But I'm trying to put together, which I already have it being pitched to different networks, is topics that we've never talked about, like 10, 20 years ago. We didn't know about narcissism, with how men treat women and how the narcissist depletes the entire family. And so I'm putting a show on with that. And then, like now, I do a lot of other people's podcasts. I continue to work on my past podcast. And if I can help you, I will.
No, we appreciate it.
And anything with
Highly
the mob?
appreciate it.
Anything with the mob? Scenes? Anything coming up? Any projects with that aside from
no,
this?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I've be honest with you. I
Yeah.
tried to gear away from that.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I had to stop my podcast
Right.
on crime because that's the genre I've always been
Right,
in.
right.
But no, I'm broadening out
Oh, okay.
to many different topics. You could do a topic on what's going on in the media right now with Cardi B and I don't know
Yeah,
if you saw
yeah.
that she was being
Yes.
sued.
Yep.
Yeah, in fact,
I-
she won that case. I heard. Yeah.
current.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
that's current.
Right, right.
But that's
So-
basically what we're doing as well. We'll break up the show in different segments, and we definitely want to be current because people want to hear what's going on. So, the one thing that I'll steer away from would be religion and politics. We don't want any of that on the
Right,
show.
right,
But
right.
besides that, everything else, you're right. I mean, narcissistic people have been around
Narcissistic,
forever, never
exactly.
spoken about.
Exactly.
And women have been ridiculed for,
Oh yeah.
for
well,
coming out.
narcissistic abuse is real. It's just with the typical when the woman meets the narcissist, it's always about the love bombing. He comes in, he showers her, he gives her everything, until it's not. And then he's off and running to the next one because usually they're addicted to the newness of relationships. And when the woman starts questioning him, they start gaslighting her. Well, that's not so. That didn't happen like that. And it's really a form of mental abuse.
Listen,
It is a form of
It is
mental
abuse.
It's
It's
abuse.
definitely because I remember. Listen, and this is where honesty is always going to come out of us. I grew up Latino, product of my environment. As far as seeing whatever my father did, I kind of emulated. Y todo el mundo sabe que los boricuas son frescos. Meaning that Puerto Ricans, we're the same way. We want to have our women, but we want to have our side chicks.
Yes, like
so
the Italians.
same
The
thing. So we
Italians,
have
yes.
it. I've had girlfriends in my past say, you're making me like I feel like I'm
Going
retarded.
crazy.
I'm going crazy
Yes.
because of you. And it was me manipulating the crap
And
out
that's
of them.
part of it.
You know,
the
that's it.
manipulation.
Manipulation.
The gaslighting,
Right.
the love
And
bombing,
I did- and
making
I
them
was
think
guilty
you
of
love
that.
them, and then you got somebody at home that you really
Yep,
do
yep.
love.
But one thing I could say towards that is that most men that are raised in the streets, that's all we see.
Yes.
So, like
Well,
you
that's
said,
what
we
it-
emulate that
Yes.
lifestyle. We want to be the
It's
gangsters.
what
We
we
want to have the
saw.
Gomara on the side. We want to
Yes.
have. But you know
La
what?
Chija.
Yeah.
Say La Chija.
Right.
She's a
The
Italian.
Chijas.
But also,
Yeah.
La
I
Chija.
will say this. Many high-profile men that have a lot of money, that are successful, that are professionals,
Yeah.
that
Of
could-
course.
are going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it be your doctor, your lawyer,
Well, that
your
kind of
politician.
comes with that territory,
It
right?
come-
Money.
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 It's
Money
the,
is the
you know when
that's
they
it.
say
It's
money's
power.
the root to all
It's
evil,
power.
and
Money's
that
power.
is very true.
Yeah. So me personally, I would say myself, there came a time when I realized that I was doing something wrong. Some men just continue doing this. It's a snowball effect. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Me personally, I learned how to stop and say, you know what? I think I hurt enough people in different ways because you do hurt people along the way. You're lying, you're cheating, you're doing things that you're not supposed to. And when you have children, you want to make sure
That it doesn't happen
you
to
don't
them.
go. They don't face this. They don't go through this. So now you want to start putting the brakes
It's
and changing your life around.
Because
you know?
I have 3 sons, adult sons, and I tell all of them that just be honest. If you're going away with a woman and you're not ready for a commitment or you're not, say it. Say, listen, I'm going to treat you great. We're going to go away, but I'm not boyfriend material right now. As long as you're honest, and then she could make her mind up if she wants to be involved with you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of women are different. They think differently than men. When they lay their head down on the pillow, they don't want that person to be the person that's going to hurt them. Of
course not.
They get emotionally attached. Where men, it's like a sport.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
playing tennis.
Yeah, of course.
It doesn't mean, a lot of men, it doesn't mean anything for them to go do, you know.
This is
And-
why I'm sorry, Mike. I was so blessed never to have a daughter. I didn't want,
I know.
I didn't want one because I would have been, I would have been a strict dad only.
I was, though.
Only because I knew what I did.
Yeah.
And I didn't want her to go through the same thing.
Well, what I say is this. Once again, it's a different world.
It's a different
We grew up, we're all here
We're
from
all-
the 60s. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
we're
So,
all the same age.
today's world is a whole different world. Today, the kids are being educated by Chat GPT,
Yes.
by, AI, all this stuff. It's very confusing. Whoever had kids today, you got to be careful because it's a whole different world. You're not raising your kids. These devices are raising your kids. So
Exactly. And what, I was just having this conversation on the way into the city that it's very difficult to have your old-fashioned relationship with the commitment.
So
you know why
hard.
it's so hard?
Yeah.
Is because with a swipe of a finger,
It's-
he's on
yep,
to the next.
of course.
And the
Yeah.
morals.
Yep. Uh-huh.
And
They're gone. They're out the window.
Right. The
All of
morals
that is out the window.
And the ability to be honest and have class and be a gentleman
Yeah.
and have the Lord in your life. It's like less and less it doesn't exist. And
Andrea, the age ratio, he'll tell you, because he just came back into my community. I have a very good community.
Yeah.
I'm probably, between me and one other guy, the oldest. Everyone's between 45 and near 55.
okay.
So they kind of piggybacked maybe 60 to 50% of our ways because
Okay.
their parents are my age.
Okay.
However, but with a lot of them have kids, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I can see that their kids are dictating how they're parenting versus saying, no, this is what I believe in. This is the way it should be.
Because it's
and
called
they don't-
now gentle parenting.
But not
I
only
don't
gentle
believe in
parenting,
it.
the kids can call the cops and get you in trouble.
Exactly.
So it's horrible.
It's
they took
horrible.
away. Listen, there's never been books on parenting because every culture, every society, everyone's different. However, morals are morals. You know what I'm saying? Respect is respect.
Exactly.
And that's gone.
how do you feel having 3 grandkids?
3. Yes.
How do you feel?
I love
How do you
it.
feel
It's-
their world,
Well-
world that they are being raised in, not the world that we were raised in? Are you
Well,
prepared
You know,
for?
my family, my daughter, my children, myself, we're very old school Italians. I raised my kids that way. My daughter doesn't believe in, as I didn't believe in, like daycare or anything like that. She's a
Right.
stay-at-home mom with the grandmom involved. You know, so family dinners, family around, the uncles come all the time. So we try in church. We're very involved in our church, Catholics. We're practicing Catholics. So we're trying to keep that as normal as possible.
Right.
But what Storenzo said is very right. When a child goes to school and they're in school 8 hours of the day, those strangers are forming
Those are
what
the-
the
that's-
hours
yeah,
and what they're
of what they're
implementing
learning, yeah.
in your child's brain.
Yeah.
So, I'm having the conversation with my daughter about maybe we putting them in Catholic school, and she has her opinions
To have a
about-
little more control over them,
to have-
obviously.
Yeah. And I'm finding a lot of people where I live now are homeschooling.
Yeah.
They're doing
Oh,
half and half.
that's what my younger brother does with his.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I have
family
friends
Long
that
Island.
homeschool.
you
But that's
know-
why we're
Yeah.
all it's doctrinized. I mean, we were doctrinized in school as we were growing up, but the house was the house. Whatever your parents said, you did. I
Yes.
respected anyone at the age of 15. If you were 18, I considered you an adult.
Yes, well, that's what it was back
Right,
then. At
right,
18, you
yeah.
could go to the bar and drink.
Right.
So
It's-
18, you were an adult.
Right. So we respected them the same way if it would have been a grandparent.
Right.
Where today, I speak to some kids that are in their 20s, and they speak to me like I'm their homeboy. And don't get me wrong, there's a comfort level that I have with them
Right.
so that they can feel like that, but they don't know the cutoff.
Okay.
They don't know when to say, at the end of the day, I got to respect this man because he's a senior citizen almost.
Right.
And I should respect him as that way, where they don't know that. See, we knew the balance.
We know it.
I knew that at 13 years old, hanging out with my friends, smoking cigarettes, that if I showed my father and my mother, that cigarette,
Well-
cigarette
But you
got
know why we
flamed.
knew the balance? Because
You
they
know?
had belts.
Oh,
And
they had
and
belts,
right.
And they
whips,
had slippers.
hangers,
Yes.
And they had
chanclas,
sticks.
chanclas.
We didn't play.
Chanclas.
They
And
whipped
And we
us.
also grew up with respect your elders.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
That was the key.
And
Yeah.
also, children should be seen and not heard with adult conversation.
Exactly.
Right.
They
Never let
should-
them in that room.
No, they shouldn't be
Yeah.
involved in the
Yeah.
adult conversation. I was a single mom and I raised 3 sons. You know all of them.
Yes,
You've
of
met all of
course.
them.
Yes.
And my daughter. And I ruled with an iron fist. My kids weren't
Good.
allowed to sleep out. You want to have
Good.
friends over? They
Yeah.
stay in my house. I want to see who they are.
And funny what you said earlier, los boricua, los criamos igualmente, saying we were equally raised just like what you said, especially being Catholic, right? we went to school, came home, 5 o'clock. It didn't matter what we did. Dinner time every day.
Exactly.
And my mother didn't work. My father worked.
Right.
My mother didn't work. She would stay home. My mom went back to work when my youngest
Later.
became 18, 19 years
Right,
old.
right.
Right. So, and then on Sundays, grandparents.
Right.
You know, Christmases, New Year's, Easters, all of those with family.
That you see, you
yeah.
follow me. Everything
yeah.
is about the family,
Right.
and
But
that's
now you don't
very
have that.
important. The values. No, they don't have that. You got the kids dictating to the parents.
And it's spooky because the parents are actually scared of their children today because they don't want to get locked up. They
Not
don't wanna
only
get
not only
arrested.
locked up, but just losing them to
No,
other
I think
things.
some of them don't
me
care if they lose
personally,
them.
me personally, I would be scared now to lose my kids and let them go out there and start hanging out with the wrong people. Today, the things that we did were easier to control. Like we knew how we had a way out. Today, with the technology, like I said, with these groups that are forming that
See,
we
I
don't
beg
know
to
what's
differ,
going
Mike.
on. They got their own thing going
Mike,
on.
I'm going to go against you a little bit on that because today these kids have more information than we ever had.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they should be smarter. They should be more have
Aware.
more morals and more aware of stuff.
Yes,
We
aware.
didn't.
yeah, but they smart, but not at the things they're supposed to be
no,
smart.
No, but listen to me. But that's not their fault. That's the parents' fault. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Well,
that the parents, anyone that's in their 40s, learned off of us. That's the last generation of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Anything under that, they're allowing their kids to do what they want.
I'm going to agree with him because I feel I look at it also like this. For instance, is that I'm an advocate for pipples. I'm a pipple lover. That's all I ever have is a pipple, and they have a bad rap. It's how you raise them.
It's how you raise
It's
them.
the same thing. It's how you raise them.
It's true.
My dog is a gentle giant. It's
Yeah,
how
I
you
see
raise,
him all the time on pictures.
Right, it's how
Cute.
you
Yeah,
raise
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
If you're going to raise an animal for a kid and he's going to dictate to you, that's what's going to be
That's-
out in the street.
that's what's gonna be out,
Then
yeah.
he's going to have no
Yep.
respect for
Yep.
for
So
anything.
So, you know, Mike, I love you, but parenting has become almost like what we call a country that doesn't exist.
they
you
call,
know?
Obsolete.
Well, they
It's
call it now
obsolete.
this gentle parenting.
Horrible.
Yeah.
You can't do this.
Horrible.
You can't do that.
Horrible.
No, you don't speak back to the elders. Like
Mm-hmm.
the grandkids know. My children know that. Grammy rules with an iron fist. You
And
know?
believe it or not, and that's true. When we were growing up, abuelita, abuelito, whatever they
don't-
said, tío
you
y tía,
do.
they said it. Even if you didn't like it, you swallowed it. And I'm talking about me at 16 being
You'll
a
get
bad
your,
boy.
You'll get your butt whipped.
I knew that you still, that, you know, you had to listen and respect everything
Right.
that they said. So, mi gente,
Right.
you know, pay attention to this because estamos perdiendo los niños. Los estamos perdiendo
It
los
also
niños.
it also depends on the child himself. You know how what he has up here, because you see, I could relate to what you're saying, but I'm not necessarily. I wasn't raised like that.
That's
you understand?
why. Right,
And
But that's
I wasn't
why.
raised. I didn't have the parenting
Right,
there like
right,
that.
right.
You
I
parented
learned.
yourself.
I taught myself.
He did. He
I
did.
educated
yeah.
myself. So you know, it was a whole different era. You see, we didn't have things that distract us. Back then, it was pushing a go-kart, building a go-kart, playing games outside. Today, a child, just by going inside that room and staying with that phone, like the mind, it just completely destroys them. They
Yeah.
have no way of thinking using those compartments that I use,
Right.
whether that I have parenting or not. I still
But
was
felt
able
like you
to
contradicted
analyze.
yourself.
In
the
which
sense-
way?
Because you said me, and you almost made it sound like you were different because you weren't raised. But look how you turned out. You still had respect. You still had morals. Even you were a street kid. I knew a lot of them.
Yeah.
And you didn't have, you know, your parents there the way I did. But you still, someone embedded it in you, or you saw it somewhere.
streets.
You saw.
To be honest,
The
bro,
streets.
bro. You learned it by hanging who you were hanging with, whether they were, you know, teaching it.
Right, but I wasn't learning it.
You know?
I wasn't learning it from reels. I wasn't learning it from
No,
phones
but
and
that's
from.
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
you didn't
I
have
actually-
a family structure, a mother and father at home, but you still grew up respectful. You grew up knowing the morals. That means at the end of the day, even though the community you were in were tough gangsters, all of them still have morals, bro.
Yeah.
They all followed that rule that came from our parents.
All I could say is this: we all right. We all make sense. We all have different views, but at the end of the day,
It all makes sense.
It boils down to the same thing: good parenting, and whether you don't have good
good
parenting,
community.
even if you don't have good parenting,
good
but
community.
good community, or just yourself being a good God-fearing person.
Dude, I knew
Me,
the best-
I learned about that very early in
You
my
know what a
life.
títere is? A títere is a bad kid.
A street
I
hood.
knew.
Yeah.
I hung out with títeres. He hung out with títeres.
Yeah.
However, them títeres still had morals. That's my point.
Right.
Back in the day, even the baddest gangsters respected people's moms. You know, they saw they gave respect to the
Yes.
people. And I'm speaking about the street outlaws that I knew.
Right.
So at the end of the day, yes, there's always been evil, bad kids, you know, gangsters, but there was morals implicated in even being a bad guy. You know, how many people in your community that are mobsters, people go,
Everybody.
never, not that guy.
My community was all like criminals.
But that's what I'm saying.
Listen,
But if they didn't want
I-
you to know it, they wouldn't know it.
No.
we grew up in that environment, but we knew where we were going. We had a vision. We knew that was temporary.
Right.
We knew what we wanted, because I always knew what I wanted. I always wanted a family. I wanted children. I wanted grandkids. I don't know how I was going to get them, because I was involved in the crime world out there with drugs and everything else. But for whatever reason, like I always say, I always use that term, for whatever reason, there was a purpose. And you know what? We are guided through a higher power, and thank God that we're here discussing this beautiful conversation about children. And now we want to continue with Andrea Giovino. We would like to know other things about Andrea, what's going on.
No, we already
with
know enough.
maybe.
If they want to know, they can follow her on name everything they can follow.
yes.
her.
Yeah, but I want to know, like, besides the what you're talking about with the narcissists and
Okay.
stuff like that, are there any other projects in the works, like anything with filming, with the big screen, or anything pertaining to that?
No, usually
Yeah.
stuff comes up though, because I've done so many of them. But like, if the audience wants to follow me, I'm on Instagram at my name,
Right.
Andrea Giovino.
Please name all your
Yes,
platforms.
my YouTube is Andrea Giovino. On Facebook, Andrea Giovino. I mean, if they Googled me, and so much comes up of the recent one I did, Netflix, Get Gotti on
Right.
A&E, Gotti and
Number one
Son.
trending show.
Yeah, so I've
Yeah.
done a lot of documentaries, and probably will continue with that. But I think at this point in time in my life, I'd like to work behind the scenes,
Right.
like say with you guys.
Well, that's
I've
the
learned
next
so
project
much.
that we're gonna do.
I've learned so much with behind the scenes and what works and what really takes off. And it's like I don't need to be on screen. I like to help people to get their stories out there. Documentaries is where it's at.
And how do you feel? How do you feel coming, from this whole journey, like, to right now? How do you feel? You feel...
I have to say the truth. I
Fine.
feel
Answer that question.
I feel really good about myself
Yeah.
because
You come a long way.
I come a long way.
Come
I
a
have a
long way.
7th grade education. I'm an
Yeah.
author.
Right,
I've
right.
sat with people like Barbara Walters on
Right.
The View.
You're
I've done
self-proclaimed.
60
Oh,
minutes.
Wait,
You're
you didn't graduate
self-proclaimed.
high school?
I've 7th grade education.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know that.
And look, that's why my story is so unique, and that's
Yeah.
why they always ask me to come on, because to sit with people like Joy Behar, Barbara
right.
Walters, Star Jones, 60 Minutes. I've done so much.
I saw a lot of the interviews.
Yeah, and I've self-educated myself.
So I dropped out
Right.
11th grade,
But 7th grade, I think we were
7th grade.
11, 12 years old.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
no education.
but you
Right,
you knew how to read and write already.
I knew how to read and write.
I got you.
Yes, I was very smart in school, but my dad pulled us out because he said you learn bad things in school.
Yeah. But you had great
he was
communicate.
right.
Yeah, she
He
had.
was right.
You build your communicative skills.
I did.
which is very important.
It's very important.
You could carry a conversation.
I could sit with
So that-
politicians.
yeah.
I could sit with anyone.
Right. That's how I feel myself. I
Yeah.
could sit with a poor guy, a rich guy, or it doesn't matter as long as
Yeah.
you listen to them, because most people just they
And I think that
Yeah.
where I'm at today, nothing impresses me. Money
Right,
doesn't impress
exactly.
me.
Well, that's the beauty also of
What
getting older, I
impresses
think.
me is how you live your life.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a good person and you're helping others.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what my church teaches us also. The church teaches you also to always give back. You give back, you'll get 10 times more.
It's true.
And
me personally, not only the church, but I believe that God. This is
God.
what is.
Well, that's
this is what.
basically-
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
as a normal human being, you should always give back,
Give
and
back
and
and
it doesn't
help.
have to be necessarily material.
No,
it could be advice.
yourself.
It could be
That's what I
advice.
do.
It could
I
be
help a lot of women.
exactly, and
And
you
this
know,
is
lot of
where
women.
the show is changing. So,
Yeah.
getting back, because if anyone wants to see anything else about Andrea, please go to her platforms.
Yes.
You know, we'll keep announcing them periodically for you because you've helped us out so much. So, this is where now we're going to add some little bit of comedy and flavor to questions based on just
keep
things in the
going,
community.
like,
Yeah,
minutes?
yeah.
Okay,
Don't worry.
okay.
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
So, I'm going to have a couple questions.
Go ahead.
Simple. Ready?
Go ahead.
The Godfather
Yeah.
or Casino, and why? And did you see both movies?
I've seen both movies.
Okay.
I guess in my era and how I grew up, I'm going to say Casino was more true to life,
Mm-hmm.
even more so Goodfellas. When people ask me, I say Goodfellas was.
You just ruined my next question.
All right.
No, but it's
Sorry,
fine. So the
sorry.
next one was
All right.
Casino, since you picked that,
Yeah.
or Goodfellas?
Goodfellas. By Goodfellas nailed it.
Okay.
Goodfellas, that's exactly how the Italians were in the time frame I was in the streets.
Okay. So, Bronx Tale or Donnie Brasco?
I'm going to go with Donnie Brasco because, again, some of the characters I knew in the film.
Mm.
So,
Now, getting to the next part. And this is just to see how much mafia stuff you know.
go ahead.
So, no, I hope I don't offend you.
No, go.
So, who was Scarface, the original Scarface?
In the movie Scarface?
No, in real life. Every
Al
gangster.
Capone.
Nailed it. Who was Lucky?
Lucky Luciano.
Who was, let me see if you get this one. Don Bitone.
Vito Corleone. No?
No, that's from the movie.
Oh, that's from the movie. I don't know.
You got the first name right.
Vito Genovese?
Yep.
Vito Genovese.
Okay. Who was actually the Godfather?
Carlo Gambino.
Damn it. All right.
What?
All right, you're getting them. I told
Yeah,
you
it
you
is.
wouldn't get them.
I come from that
Okay.
background.
Okay. The Prime Minister.
In organized crime? Mm-hmm. Hold on.
And I can give you, you could say a hint.
Neil Taylor Croce. No?
He took over the Luciano family when he got deported.
Oh, I don't know.
That's Frank Costello.
Okay, I wouldn't know that.
The Mad Hatter.
I don't know that.
That's Albert.
Anastasia?
Anastasia.
Albert Anastasia.
Okay. How about Joe Batter or the Big Tuna?
I don't know them. Way before my time.
That was that's 57.
Yeah.
That's Tony Accardo.
No, that's way before my time.
I
Okay,
don't
so
even
these you
know.
should know. These two, Momo.
Don't know them.
Momo?
No.
Oh, that's Sam Giancana, Chicago, 57.
Yeah. See, those are. I was more in the 60s.
The Dapper Don?
Yeah. Well, you know John Gotti.
The Dapper
There
Don's
you
your
go.
man.
There you go.
Now,
I
ready?
think she got a 98.
Now I'm gonna.
But he gave me things I was in.
I'm telling you, yeah. Listen, I don't know
No, I know
half of that.
57,
I don't
but,
know
you know.
half of that.
All right, ready? Just one or two more. Just
Go ahead.
you know, Tony Bennett or Frank Sinatra,
Frank Sinatra.
and why?
I just like the smooth voice.
'Cause
of
she did it her
Sinatra.
way.
Yeah, exactly. I love Sinatra.
Dean Martin or Perry Como?
D. Martin.
Okay.
That charisma.
Yeah.
All right. So, just a couple other people, in case you didn't know, that were Italian American, and they're singers. I'm just going to name a few.
Go ahead.
Nancy Sinatra, Louis Prima, Frankie Avalon,
Love Frankie Avalon.
Frankie Avalon, John Bon Jovi.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know he was Italian.
I didn't know that as well. Madonna,
Yeah, I knew she was Italian.
you did.
Yeah. And Lady Gaga's Italian.
Frankie Valli, Lady Gaga.
Yeah, Frankie Valli I love.
Did I say? I said John Bon Jovi.
Yes.
I did say that already. Who else was it that I had on that list? Nancy Sinatra, you probably already knew. Okay, and this is my last question, and then Mike could take over. What is the most popular, there's a couple, Italian-American food or Italian food in the U.S.?
I think spaghetti and meatballs.
Okay, that's on the list.
Okay,
You have number 1 is lasagna.
okay.
Number 2 is ravioli, spaghetti and
Spaghetti
meatballs,
Yeah.
pasta with tomato sauce, fettuccine alfredo, macaroni and cheese, pasta with chicken and garlic
I'm getting
sauce,
kind of hungry now.
and taco salsa.
And it also depends on what part of Italy the family
Right,
comes from.
you have from Naples, you
Yeah,
have from
like my parents were
Sicily.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those are just little Italian questions that I
Questions. I
wanted
like that.
I wanted to give to you. So,
He really did
so,
drill you.
So your
okay.
I mean-
and you gotta you got a
I don't-
90 out
yeah.
of 100.
I don't have a list, but what I do have, I want to emphasize that how you started, where you actually, I got to thank you, because
Oh.
you're actually, as I said before, I was kind of introverted for many years inside my own little world,
Yes.
and you brought me out of this.
Yes, I'm glad
Thank
that-
you
I'm
for
glad.
giving me this opportunity to be. I mean, even in front of cameras, I'm still a little shy. He could tell you
He's
out
wet
of the
behind the
camera.
ears.
Because I feel your story can help other people.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
basis why I wanted him to come out of that shell, is that, and then you can develop into the person that the Lord really wants you to be, and to go and help others. That, wow, look at Mike, what he'd been through as a child, and his childhood was traumatic,
Yep.
extremely traumatic.
Yeah.
And look at what you've
Yeah.
done, and look at the relationship you've developed with your children.
Amazing. I am so happy.
That's
and
because you're working on yourself.
and him too.
Yes.
Well,
Between,
he's-
I think you both just have done
I'm just
a
happy
miracle
he has,
in my life.
He has his
Wow.
family back. He has
Yeah.
the most
I'm so
important thing in his
happy.
life.
I'm so
happening.
I
happy.
have my kids,
And I'm
my
so proud of him.
grandkids,
He's
and-
doing really well. Mike
yeah.
is doing.
Hey.
Listen, guys, my boy Mike, the Mike, is doing well. He's
Thank you.
taking care of business, handling his business, and I want to do one thing for Andrea that we promised. Mike is going to do a 15-second serenade, and he's going to do it on camera.
Guys.
Okay.
But then
And-
I need
Keep
to,
talking how while I
but-
get the
but I
song.
need to have that little clip so I can post it.
Oh, wait, we're definitely going to
yes,
do
I
it on a
need
clip
that.
so we can get it
All right,
over to
good,
you.
because I love to.
Me,
do
I
it.
forgot to bring my maracas.
Keep talking to Andrew.
I
while
love
I
get
forgot
the
to bring my maracas because
right.
as he sings,
Could
I
the, could
I
the
play
camera guy get me that little clip when he serenades
Of
it?
course,
So then I could
of course,
promote.
of course, of course. So that's something he spoke about. He goes, I got a serenader.
Because
it's
people-
thanking her.
People asked me.
Do they
he
really?
serenaded me on my show.
I'm surprised he doesn't have it ready.
Well, you know what it is? She got me into doing this podcast. She got me actually to become, partners with Store. I mean, I'm like, you know what? I owe this much to her. So every time I see her, I'm definitely going to
Go ahead,
give
bro.
her a
Sing
little
along.
serenation here.
Get that mic on. Get that mic on.
Serenade.
Get
And
that
that's what
mic
I
on.
love to do. I love to help people.
Well, that's
I do.
And I like to sing.
Yeah.
It just came out of nowhere.
my goal is to be a philanthropist. So
Nice. I love
that's
that.
my goal.
I love to help people.
let's go, Mike.
All right, 1 second. Here
Okay.
it goes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to skip that.
There it goes. This is for Andrea.
This is for Andrea.
1, 2, 1, 2.
There he goes. Mike the mic.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Mike
just
the
enjoy.
mic.
There's something.
Y dale huevo.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for
I
Andrea.
love it. Thank you, guys. This makes me feel so loved. I love it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, once again, we want to thank you so much, Andrea.
Oh, I love
I'm
you
blessed
guys.
to
I'll
have
do
met
anything.
you.
Oh,
Blessed to
wow.
have met you. And I know that we're going to work in the future together. And I
Of
want you to
course
know
we
that
are.
anything you need from us,
I know that.
because I know that we're going to be using you
Yes.
and picking your
Yes.
brain
And
a
I
little
don't.
bit
I
going
told
forward.
you. That's why I'm
Yep,
there.
yep, yep.
We will be doing great things in the coming years, in the near future.
Yes.
I
Yep.
mean, we feel very comfortable with you. I feel great.
Yes.
Like I said, I'm still got the little
And
jitteries,
I'm
but
great at pulling things out of people.
yeah, you did
Like,
good.
I'm
She
great
did
at
amazing
pulling
with me.
out-
I
Yeah.
pulled out his hemorrhoids, and that's
Yes.
as far as I
And-
got.
My what? I don't have that.
Anyway.
I'm still too young.
Take care, guys. We
Yeah.
have to go.
See ya.
Love you,
Love
Andrea.
you.
See
Love
you guys
you guys.
soon.
Bye.
Just thank you.
Peace.
Peace out. Great. I loved it.
Thank
See,
you.
it's fun.